Hey everyone, welcome to another video. As you guys can see, the setup is again a little bit different today. Today I'm in my office and I want to talk to you guys about 5 supplements that I think are very beneficial and are going to improve your fitness journey and your overall well-being and health. So some of these supplements are things that you'll find in normal food, and you don't really even have to go out and get external supplements in many cases, but I want to talk to you about how some of these things can be used more effectively and how sometimes people use supplements or these particular active ingredients in an incorrect way. So what I'd like to start off with is a very simple thing. It's omega-3 supplementation or fish capsules, fish oil capsules. So you can find these typically at any pharmacy. They're very inexpensive. They have many benefits, but most of all, the thing is that most people's diets are heavy in omega-6 fats, which is more the kind of fats you get from animal products. So like meat and eggs and cheese and milk and stuff like that. The diets that tend to be higher in omega-3 fatty, healthy fatty acids or essential fatty acids tend to be more healthy overall. And you'll see that the people who live close to water and tend to fish, as far as culturally goes, like people of Japan, people of Sardinia, tend to be the people in the world who live the longest. And part of the reason why is because this healthy fat is not only a really great way for you to stimulate hormonal function and brain function, but also to have really good joint function, so the muscular skeletal system is supported as well. And it's a very effective, simple thing to integrate, especially if you don't like eating fish. So what I would suggest is that if you feel like you could benefit from this, to give it a try, do it for about a month, see if you feel any better. It really doesn't take any time, as far as, you just have a capsule, one or two a day. And you'll probably get some benefits, especially if you've suffered from any kind of joint pain, like arthritis or anything like that, or lower back pain as well. Or if you just have a diet that's heavier in these meat fats. Oils, different kinds of oils dissolve other kinds of oils. And one of the things about the essential fatty acids of the omega-3 is that they'll dissolve the more saturated oils. So you just get a better, more clean circulatory system, your cholesterol levels go down, and these are all good things. So the first supplement that I would suggest, if you haven't done it already, is a good thing to try out, would be fish oil capsules or some kind of omega-3 supplementation. Okay, so then the next thing I want to talk about is caffeine. Most people drink coffee, and so you get caffeine through your normal, some of the drinks that you have. So like, again, you don't have to go out and buy caffeine pills, but what's interesting about caffeine that I think most people don't know is that it has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. So what that means is the amount of active ingredient is still half in your body after that amount of time. So I'll give you an example. If Italian coffee, like an espresso, is about 130 milligrams of caffeine, after 5 hours, you still have about half of that. So let's say maybe 60 or 70 grams of caffeine still in your body, milligrams. So what that means is people continue to drink coffee throughout the day without realizing that they're stacking on half-lives over and over. So let's say if you're still at a halfway point, but you add another coffee, then suddenly you're at 200 milligrams of caffeine, or you do that again, you're like 250. And that's when you get these big crashes too, because the higher you go, then the deeper the crash will be. So one of my suggestions is, if you think about it, once you have gone to sleep and have gotten a good night's rest, most of your body has repaired its primary function. So your brain works better, your heart works better, your lungs work better, everything's kind of working better again in the morning. You don't need to bombard yourself with coffee right away because you've just rested. So you should be overall repaired. What I think people do is they get into the habit of feeling groggy, and so they need a pick-me-up. But if you just let time pass, you'll feel better. And I would say just have a small coffee in the morning to get you going if you need to. But save your caffeine for before you're going to do a workout. That way, when you do your workout, you can use that energy and not just have it as kind of like something that's stringing you along the day, and powerfully gain some kind of more, like stimulus for your workout, and at the same time, through the workout process, burn off some of that caffeine so that you don't stay up too late afterwards. And it's a much more effective way of using it if you just time it right. So supplementation sometimes and often is also about timing, and with caffeine, being careful of half-lives is one of the tips I want to share with you, and one of the ways that you can optimize this supplement. So there's other things. I mean, there's a ton of supplements we can talk about. One of the things that I think is also important is protein. Now, protein has different levels of bioavailability. Bioavailability means your body's ability to actually use it. So the things that are more similar to us, like meat, for example, has the most bioavailability. It's the amino acid chain sequence is the most similar to our amino acids that make up our muscles. So you get the most ability to use that kind of protein. And then there's similar, like milk and eggs and cheese. Those again fall into the category of very highly bioavailable. But then you get less so with things like maybe the proteins you get from beans, or the proteins you can get from some grains. Often they are incomplete chains of amino acids, so they don't have all the essential ones. Although in many cultures they pair the incomplete amino acid chain proteins with other ones, so you do complete them. So for example, in Latin American countries where they eat a lot of rice and beans, together that can create a complete protein, and so more bioavailability. But you really want to be careful with how you eat your protein, because there's people who want to work out and gain muscle, and they might try to eat a lot of protein, but you can actually, again, only really digest about 30 grams of protein per serving, per meal. So here we go again, where people, they take too much and then they eat like a big piece of meat, and your body can only really do something with about 30 grams of protein, and then the rest goes through a phase called gluconeogenesis, which is the protein is converted into a carb, and then your body uses it as if it was a carb. So especially if you're on a low carb diet, you need to have your protein spaced out in such a way that you don't bombard yourself with 150 grams of protein and then your body's turning it into carbs. So one of the supplements that I think is useful are the whey protein shakes or bars, because you can have smaller doses of protein throughout the day, and every time, if you're giving yourself a few hours, like 4 hours in between, your body can then do something with it again. So these are some of the reasons why timing and supplements, again, are very important. And this goes right into our fourth tip, which is basically how people take vitamin C. Now, people always have taken vitamin C, and it's a good thing to take, and especially if you feel like you're getting sick, or in this time, it's highly suggested. But again, your body can only absorb about 500 grams of vitamin C per dose. And what happens is the rest will actually get evacuated as ascorbic acid. So that's why when you use the bathroom after you've taken some of the multivitamins, you might see the color in the water is not what you would expect. It's like a more yellow or darker color. So vitamins are super important. Vitamins play an essential role. Understanding how vitamins work with each other is super important. But specifically with regards to vitamin C, again, you have to be careful, because if you're taking more than 500 milligrams, your body's just working harder, its kidneys are working harder to then remove that excess amount of vitamin C, which is fundamentally an acid. So think about it like this too. Your body's also always looking for homeostasis. It's kind of like the balance of the body, and anything that pushes you on either side of that balance tends to make the body work harder. So if you want to have overall health and longevity, when people say balance is key, it literally is from a chemical point of view too. So vitamin C is a wonderful thing. Also, real quick, if you look at the back of most vitamin packages, it'll say like 400% of your recommended daily allowance. And that's exactly why you need to avoid it. You don't need to go past 100% of your recommended daily allowance. for any one of those vitamins. And since often the serving size is 2 or 3 capsules, just literally take one or even take half and you'll get what you need. You'll save money because you won't burn through the package as fast, but at the same time you won't overwork your body. So that's tip number 4. And tip number 5 is something that I don't think many of you guys know about. It's a mushroom called lion's mane, and lion's mane is a really beautiful mushroom. It grows kind of like a globe that has like these white kind of hairs that come out of it, looking like the mane of a lion. It's a beautiful plant, and it's been used in indigenous cultures in North America for a long time. The benefits, however, of lion's mane are really interesting because not only can it help deal with anxiety and depression, which is really interesting because it's a neurotropic, it can also deal with other things like inflammation. So when we talk about inflammation, it's the body's reparation, trying to fix mechanism. And if you're inflamed because, going back to the protein thing, your body's trying to process too much protein at once, or your body's trying to process too much vitamin C at once, or whatever inflammation you're getting because of stress, it's really wonderful in a way to have a little help from some kind of anti-inflammatory that's not a synthetic anti-inflammatory like some kind of medicine that you would get over the counter. So lion's mane, and I suggest you look it up, is a wonderful way to increase your body's natural way of dealing with things, and also at the same time get some cognitive effects that are really interesting as well. A lot of this stuff, I mean, especially the mushrooms, were used for a long time in different traditional medicines and are now slowly starting to be integrated into more modern medicine, but their functions have been studied for a long time, so there's a lot of empirical data, and I think that's important too, not only looking at clinical data to understand how something might benefit you. So this is just a really quick guide as to how you can get benefits from the things that you eat. The supplements are basically just what you need to do to supplement your already, hopefully, healthy food regimen, but knowing how to use them and knowing how to be conscious of the things that are around you are really going to be important, because in the long term, everyone's trying to scam you. You know, they're trying to sell you more, that you're trying to be a consumer more and more. But if you're aware of your consumptions and what you actually need, you'll not only save money, but you'll treat your body a whole lot better. So, I hope you like these tips. If you want more tips, please write them in the comments and I can address any other thing that you want to talk about. If you like this video, please press a thumbs up. That also helps us quite a lot. And if you want an even more in-depth explanation about this stuff, you can visit our website at theplexus.it, and the link is in the description. So, with all that being said, thank you. Hope to see you soon. Be well. And until next time.